I'm Ramie Murray. I'm Managing Director of East Coast Shellfish, and we are based across in Dibba, Fujairah, and we are producing Dibba Bay oysters. It all started almost 4 years ago with a speculative pilot study that we conducted down in Oman. There was an idea that the environment here was actually suitable for oysters. It hadn't been done before. So 4 years ago, we conducted a pilot study, and we're actually astounded with the results. The oysters grew really well, really fast, and were really tasty. So then we looked to commercialize it, so we came to Fujairah. You have to understand the water is so clean here. It's crystal clear, it's perfect for aquaculture. And so we got set up in Dibba port, and we got given some land there to operate from. And we have an ocean concession a few kilometers away from the port, and that's where we farm the oysters. We moved up here and we got oysters in the water just over a year ago. So we're just coming into our first harvest. We're just ready to sort of launch in the market, and yeah, we're ready to go. What people have to remember is we're on the East Coast here, so it's a different ocean to the Arabian Gulf. So the salinity is much lower than the Arabian Gulf, and the temperature is much lower, and we get lovely cool currents coming in from the Indian Ocean. So just generally it's lower, but also this species is proven very adaptable, it's the Pacific cupped oyster, which is originally a Japanese oyster, which is shown to be very, very adaptable. It's grown in France, it's grown in Alaska even. And so the temperature ranges that we have here fit within their acceptable limits. And so what we've actually found is that they grow extremely well here, because the temperature, because of the high temperature, they grow quite fast. But also there is so much food in the water here, washing in on the currents. So we've been, very pleasantly surprised. It's the same animal that is grown in France, in Portugal, in America. But every oyster takes on its characteristics from its surroundings. Because they grow so well and so quickly, is that they're a very kind of meaty oyster. So they're very kind of full and crunchy and meaty. And then also there's a briny aftertaste as well, because they're in the open ocean here. They're not coming out of an estuary as such, which is it just goes to add to the characteristics of this local oyster.
Hi, my name is Georgi Danilov. I am a chef de cuisine of the Couple Lobster and the Pronto Cafe, based in the Fairmont Fujairah hotel. I believe that it's a beautiful product in terms of the quality, in terms of the freshness, and as well as it goes along with the line of here in the Accor hotels. We have an initiative called Planet 21, where we are trying to focus on savings to save our Earth, to use the sustainable products, to use the local products, and it goes well with that line. I mean, back in Couple Lobster, in my signature outlet, seafood outlet, we are trying to use only the local fish, and the beautiful Dibba Bay oysters, it's extremely great add-on onto my menu.
So here we have a packet of 10 number ones. We actually have all the different sizes. We have number 4, number 3, number 2, and these larger number ones, and they'll all be for sale in the supermarket soon. So a very distinctive shape. We have a beautiful cup with this oyster, which means the meat ratio is actually extremely high. Beautiful clean shell, and I'll just open it up to show you. So here, a very full and meaty oyster, and with this deep cup, means that there's a very high ratio of meat in here. When shucking an oyster, when you open it, you should dump the initial liquid. The liquid that you actually want, the oyster liqueur that people talk about, that actually gets released later. So if you open the oyster, dump the initial liquid, and then when you cut the abductor muscle to loosen it up, that's when the actual tasty liqueur comes out of the body of the oyster, and that's the liquid that you want. I think in 2016, I think it was in the range of 300 tons of oysters were imported into Dubai alone. We'd like to take a section of a percentage of that market, and I think the market is very receptive to a locally grown quality product. So we'll be looking to take a small percentage of the market. We will harvest them in the morning, and they'll go straight to market. So we're about an hour and a half drive from Dubai. So they will be straight, as fresh as can be, into the market. There's also the environmental, sustainable side of it, there's no carbon footprint from these. And also, because they're being grown in such clean and food-rich waters, it's a genuine quality product. They stand up. We've had countless chefs telling me how they stand up very well against any other oyster coming in from around the world. So if you have the choice and you can eat something local and fresh that's just as good as something that's been imported, it's a fairly straightforward decision.